All right, today I'm working on a 2006 Honda Civic. I'm going to be doing the VTEC solenoid. This guy here, I'll take it out of the plastic in a minute, and it is going to be located right back here. I'll turn my flash on here in a minute, make it easier to see some stuff. All right, main thing we'll need for this one is a 10mm socket and a ratchet. First, we're going to get in here and we're going to pop this little connector loose. There's that. And then it's gonna sit in there like this. And as you can see, we have another connector here. So let's see if we can find that. I'll move this back here and see if I can get a little bit better visibility. Yeah, there we go. We gotta pop that off. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna be able to do that with my phone in there. All right, next, this is gonna be hard to show. We are going to want to remove the bolt that was right next to that connector. I don't know how well I can show that. It is this bolt right here, and it is a 10mm, all of them are. I thought the short 10 was gonna be easier, but I think a long 10 is gonna be a little easier. All right, the bolt I just took out was located here, and that just holds on a bracket that has a wiring harness attached to it. The next ones are obviously going to be here, here, and down here. That bottom one might be a little bit of a booger to get, but we will see. Next, you're just going to want to pull this wiring harness as far out of the way as you can. You're going to want to make sure you have enough slack, and also make sure you don't knock off this hose that's down in here. This hose here, make sure that doesn't get pulled off. But we're gonna try and keep that as far out of the way as possible. Now we're gonna break loose. There's one bolt here, one over here. Let's see. One here, and then another one down below there. Yeah, that one's gonna be a little bit of a booger, but I will get it and we will see what happens. So for that bottom bolt, I actually went back to the short socket and a really short extension. I needed a little bit more length to get away from some of the hoses back there. Also for this job, if you have big hands or big arms, it is going to be a nightmare. You will probably be able to get the top bolts, but that back bolt, the bottom bolt, is going to be a nightmare, so be prepared. All right, I got all those loose, so now this guy should just pop right off. And we're gonna pull that straight up out of here, maybe. With a little bit of finagling, but there we go. And you're gonna make sure this gasket is on here and not stuck to the vehicle itself. But this was leaking. I believe it was leaking down here around the bottom. I don't really know for sure. They had it diagnosed at a shop, and I was much cheaper, so they decided to go with me. So now we're gonna set the new one back on there. We're gonna compare these first and make sure they're the same, but they appear to be. All right, we look to be exactly the same. Got the same connectors and everything. So yeah, we're gonna do everything we just did in reverse. And again, this bolt is a nightmare. Put these two in loosely first and then start this one. I recommend getting that one tightened first, since that one's gonna piss you off the most. Get that out of the way. Just to give you an idea of how tight it is in here to get to this back bolt. This is what I look like. I've got decently small arms, but it is gonna be pretty tight. I think I've got this bolt about tight now. I hope so. Okay. So next, we're going to bolt this little harness back on here with our little bolt, and then just make sure you plug in both of those connectors. Okay, I got that back on. I still gotta plug everything in, but I'm just gonna shine this back here and make sure everything looks good, since I can't really see. I'm gonna take a look at this video and we shall see. All right, everything's back together. Everything's snapped back in place. It is tight. Now I'm gonna have the owner come out with the key and we're gonna start it and make sure it doesn't leak.